welcome back to the last video in Module 2, which has been about using games for thematic learning. We've mainly explored what that is, and we've talked a little bit about contextual hubs, and I've given you two illustrated examples of using some commercial off-the-shelf games in the classroom, and that was Wally and also Olympics-based games. So in this last unit, we're just going to talk a little bit about some further resources and examples. Again, and I know that I keep coming back to this, the only thing that will hold teachers back from using this type of technology in the classroom is their imagination and also permission from a head teacher or a school leader. Here are some examples of games that have successfully been used in classrooms all across Europe. I've got some early years examples there, which tend to be around pets, the Sony iPet, Nintendogs, Connectimals. I've got some primary or some elementary education examples there, which again tend to be around these kind of themes. Endless Ocean is a great one for exploring underwater, but also Professor Layton and the Curious Village, which is available for Nintendo DS and also as an iPad app, is really, really good as well, because not only is it narrative driven in terms of exploring this pseudo-French village or wherever Professor Layton has to be exploring at the moment, but and also in order to complete the game, you also have to complete a number of puzzles, and I'm talking about 100 puzzles, not just one or two. Games-based learning and thematic games-based learning has also been used very, very successful with older children around topics like Guitar Hero, where students plan tours, world tours with these virtual bands. And it's not just Guitar Hero, there are other games that are still very, very popular, like Rock Band or Lego Rock Band, which still exist, which are still used, which can be very, very successful, for developing thematic learning approaches. And also, increasingly, we're starting to see, the rise of these narrative-driven games, such as Hotel Dusk, Room 215, but also other games which are available increasingly for tablets that we can start to explore. And I'll come back and talk about some tablet narrative-driven games in the next unit. So think about the different types of games that can be used. Now, you're probably wondering maybe where to start. And a useful little resource that I want you to explore is this website, Engage Learning EU. And the nice thing about this website, although it's a little bit out of date now, some of the more modern games haven't been put onto it, but apparently it's being updated, is that it's a catalogue, of video games that could be used in education. So you go onto the website, and you type in you select the type of game that you want, the type of game platform that you want, and for what school level, and it will bring you back a list of possible commercially available off-the-shelf games, these COTS games that you might think about using. It will give you a little bit of a review of the game, and where we know of a case study or where we know of a case study being used, it will also link that as well. I've put loads more links to different case studies on the online platform for you to go in and explore. And if you've not yet had a chance to have a read of the Digital Games in Schools Handbook for Teachers produced by the EUN, again, I would recommend having a look at that, because there's some great case studies in there about using these commercially available off-the-shelf games. If you're interested in research, we've done a lot of work with this here in Scotland, and a very, very good piece of research was published a few years ago now, looking at the impact of console games in the classroom and evidence from Scottish schools, and that was co-funded by Learning and Teaching Scotland, which was the National Education Agency, and also Future Lab. But again, if you're looking for some real evidence of impact that's research-based, something to take to a senior manager at your school, this is a pretty good starting point. And the last thing I just kind of want to say is that if we're really interested in using commercially available off-the-shelf games in our schools, then probably the most important thing that we need to do is not just engage the teachers, not just engage the students, because they'll be interested anyway, but we need to think about engaging the teachers. And one thing that I would encourage you to do in any games-based learning project is have a whole professional development opportunity on playing computer games. Yeah? Encourage encourage teachers to go back and to actually explore, some of these video games and actually imagine what it's like to be a child and imagine what it's like to play again.